Today we're going to present the value of reality capture and digital twins and how they are related. We're going to start today with a quick definition going through what digital twins are, and then Jeff's going to explain what reality capture is and different ways we can get to achieving both of these sort of sought after forms of information. Essentially, a digital twin is a 3D model of a physical entity. And the 3D portion is pretty important because we already have things like smart cities and analytical information that we can gather from field data, but tying that into the 3D representation and making sure that is accurate, live, and in real time is really the important part of what a digital twin is. Not only do we have enriched data, but the data is live, meaning that we have sensors or computers that are feeding some type of system with live information that we can then graphically visualize. When data from that physical system is fed through the digital twin moves and functions like the real entity. But we have to keep in mind that if we're trying to achieve a real digital twin, the information needs to have some type of feed to it. So it's not just a static point in time that gives us a digital twin.
When folks talk about reality capture, it could be many, many different tools to do reality capture. The most notable that you'll see here is probably the 3D laser scanning and the photogrammetry. That's going to allow us to recreate existing conditions, recreate a model that can be used in that digital twin environment. Things like a static, standalone scanner that sits in one room. You scan, you pick it up, you move it. There's also mobile LiDAR, where now I am able to, go on the scanner, walk around the facility, be able to capture that existing conditions in a matter of minutes instead of a matter of days. Photogrammetry, the big buzzword, no pun intended, but drones, being able to fly the rooftops of buildings, things like that, and be able to quickly grab that information. And one thing that not a lot of people really associate with reality capture, but tape measure, pencil paper, me going out pulling a tape measure, that's actually reality capture. So there is all flavors of reality capture that we are going to utilize to assist us in creating a digital twin. Now, what can I do with it? First one being validate. I can go out, utilize reality capture to validate what that existing condition is. That also helps me document what is there. This also helps me get a better informed design because now I'm not guessing at what is there. I actually have an accurate representation of that existing structure, that existing building. It's the absolute most important one on here is monitor. I'm able to scan an area and come back. I've got my representation of what is exactly there. But a couple of weeks from now, I can scan that again and do an analysis of what moved.
Really, when we talk about digital twin in combination with reality capture, we are just talking about these more enriched forms of visualizing data and gathering information. And then how we use it is really up to us. Why should we care about digital twin? To me, it just is the natural progression of what's coming next in technology and in our industry. I think a big challenge and a big barrier at the moment is having some type of application or software to be able to consume this robust amount of information in sort of a compressed version. And I think a big bridge is using some of these gaming engines that are out there. So at IMAGINiT, we formed a partnership with Epic Games, and over the last year, we've really started to explore using the Unreal Engine in being a way to connect live data into a system that we can then use as an interface to consume. So I think really one of the big barriers on actually getting to achieve a digital twin is knowledge, and then also the right applications to support it.
Cost is still somewhat of a barrier, but I think that over the past couple years, it has now come to light that we can't afford not to pursue it. So, another barrier that we often hear is, oh, it's so complicated. Yeah, no, it's not. It's to the point now where, after a day or two of education, you should have the knowledge to be able to go out and capture and be able to recreate these 2D or 3D models very easily from this point cloud data.
Whenever we're trying to consume data in real time, whether that's graphically, real time rendering, it requires pretty hefty hardware in order to process it. There is a hardware cost involved. The best graphics cards that are out there are going to be the best to consume a very robust digital twin full of millions of polygons and information that we're feeding into it. But just like anything over time, the cost of hardware starts to come down. Software becomes more intuitive. People start to figure out applications and things to make this idea more achievable. Well, over the last decade, right, Jeff, they've come out with all types of, maybe not cheap, but less expensive hardware for reality capture.
Well, they've got reality capture tools for the masses, on the lower end of the cost spectrum that will do most everything I want. Speaking for Leica, they have done an exceptional job about getting scanners in the hands of as many users as they can. Getting the software, using the software, it now is to the point to where it doesn't take, too much education to get that rolling.
Right. So I would say along the same lines, and this is one thing I hadn't really mentioned yet with digital twin, but another way to consume this information would be through immersive technology. Like over time, some of the peripherals that we're using to actually consume a digital twin are definitely coming down in price. What is on the horizon? IMAGINiT, we are an Autodesk partner. Just within this last week for facility management, Autodesk officially released Tandem, which is their new operations cloud management program. And with that, with that online interface, we are going to have a way to feed live information into a system, be able to open up this web-based interface and view it in real time. So, that sort of idea where we're starting to marry all of these different technologies into cloud-based solutions, into different ways of gathering data and information. Really, the world around us is becoming more intelligent with the Internet of Things and devices, and there are different ways to pull data from this live environment. So I would say, really, if you can think of an idea, if you can think of how you would consume something through a digital format in real time, the horizon or the possibilities are infinite. So I guess Tandem is sort of the next piece that we'll start hearing more and more about within our industry. But keep your eyes open for improvements to the gaming engine, how to bring in reality capture information, point clouds, photogrammetry into these environments. I know that the Unreal Engine already does have a plugin for LiDAR, so we can bring point clouds directly into the Unreal Engine and consume them through virtual reality and other interfaces. So, this stuff is pretty cutting edge, but there are infinite possibilities of where digital twin is going. And really, to me, I think that the idea of digital twin is really up to the user and how you want to consume that data. So if it can be in 3D, if it can be digital information, if we can gather it from field, then we can tie it into a digital twin. And we're going to see much more easy ways to achieve this in the future. So I would say that is what is on the horizon.